to Nirmal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiraldadia. We have with us Libratha Peter Kalat, Chairperson and Managing Director at DreamFolks Services, joining in. Welcome to the show, Libratha, and a pleasure to speak to you. And congratulations to achieve a milestone in the journey of the company and you as an entrepreneur as well.
Thank you.
My first question coming to you, always a pleasure to get you. Libratha, my first question coming to you is if you could help us understand what was this, uh, a dream to start DreamFolks Services and come to a milestone like this to go public?
Sure. So, it all started from, a place where I was already working with airports, okay, and working for a company where they were into managing the lounges, right? And that was a time when actually I found that there was an opportunity in the market, because if you actually see back then, the lounges were primarily only for the business class passengers. So if you see that, you would not have that loyalty customer going with the card. But that's where I thought that, yes, there is an opportunity in terms of, because the clients were also interested, the banks wanted to give this benefit. And this program was already there globally and also in India. But I think I could find out the gap in the industry. I saw an opportunity in the industry, and that's where this all started off.
Right. So overall, you are one of the key and dominant players in the industry as well, and India's largest airport service aggregator platform. So what is the actual business model for an investor to, actually understand what DreamFolks actually does?
Sure. So, first I'll just, give you a brief, because I'm sure even you would have used our services, and many,
Absolutely,
including the investors and many others, have used our services, but don't know that there is DreamFolks behind it, right? So just to give you what exactly we do and what's the revenue model, then I will explain to you. So the way it goes is that, every card, when a customer is going, so for example, you would have also, when you're traveling, would have used your credit and debit card to access the airport lounges, wherein you get a free benefit for the lounge. You're not charged, right? You get a free access, right? So this program is incubated by DreamFolks. So we are the one who actually started this business, wherein we started giving the benefits on the same credit and debit card. How is the and let me explain the revenue model. So whenever you enter a lounge and you swipe your card, okay, you get a free access here. However, for this free transaction, it is the bank or the card network who would pay. So we would raise the invoice for every transaction which is happening at the lounges to the bank or the card network, and they would pay to us. Accordingly, the lounge operators would raise an invoice to DreamFolks for whatever transactions are happening at the lounges, and then we keep a delta for ourselves and pay to the lounges. So this is actually the revenue model of DreamFolks. So it works in the similar way for all the other services what we have started, starting from meet and assist, airport transfer, spas. So all these services are also in the same manner.
Right. So overall, would it be right to say that it's a really asset-light model?
It is an asset-light model, you're right, Hiral, because we do not have huge investment like, building or construction of the lounges, operational cost, right? So we are asset-light business in terms of we do not, it is completely on the tech platform what we have built. So yes, it is a very minimal investment what we do on the technology. So that is the investment for us. But yes, we do not invest on, building or construction or running the lounge.
Right. So overall, Libratha, who do we actually as a company tie up with? Is it with the airport authorities or is it with the lounge operators? And is it a B2B kind of a tie-up that happens at every level?
So here, in terms of the service provider, the tie-ups usually happen only with the lounge operator, because airport actually give these lounges to a third party to run these, right? So we tie up with these operators here. And you're right, Hiral, that it is a B2B business, wherein we actually tie up with the banks or the card networks. And today we also have the other set of clients like airlines and OTAs as well, where there is a large customer base, and then they provide this benefit to their customers. So this is how the
Mm.
model is. Yes.
Right. And how does the revenue margin side of it function? Do we take a percentage of the revenue, or is it a fixed model of what we charge per passenger who uses the service?
So it is a fixed rate, Hiral. So the way
Mm.
we actually do our pricing is with the lounges, we have a fixed rates what we tie up with, and it is an annual, escalation on pricing.
Mm.
From metro cities to tier one, tier two, the pricing varies because it is not that the same pricing are there. But yes, we have a fixed
Mm.
price with the lounges. The domestic and international prices do vary, and accordingly, then we also have back-to-back contracts with our bank partners and the network providers as well, and the other set of clients, wherein there is a fixed per pax rate, which is pre-decided, which is an annual escalation.
Mm.
What we do with all the clients as well.
Right. So currently, in terms of reach, from what I understand is we are operational. I mean, we are present across 54 operational airport lounges, right? So what is the expansion plan from here on then?
So if you actually see, when I said that, we initially had started only with the metro cities, but today we have 100%
Mm.
coverage in all the airports where,
Correct.
there is a lounge, right? So yes, the expansion plan, it goes that, the more number of airports coming in, the more number of lounges growing. So yes, it is being expected that, by 2040, the number of airports is going to be around 295 airports, whereas
Mm.
250 lounges. So from 50 lounges is going to be around 250 lounges. So this is where in India expansion is. But however, in terms of the other services, what we have added, so that will also create a value added to our revenue as well, because all these services we have added post-COVID, right? Starting from
Mm. Mm.
airport transfer. So right now you would not see those numbers coming in, but eventually in coming years, you will find that even these services will add numbers to our business. Secondly, our expansion, what we have done globally as well. From India, now we are present in 120 plus countries with 1250 plus touch points.
Mm.
So these are the growth factors from where we see that, I mean, in terms of the numbers where we would see, we'll start seeing numbers growing.
Right. And overall, how important is it to actually capitalize on the consumer base of air traffic passengers? Because we are clearly dependent on how the air traffic growth is, right?
Yes. So the air traffic growth, Adel, if you actually see, is growing, right? And if you actually see in terms of the growth also, it's around 40% the air traffic growth is happening, and this is actually expected to
Mm.
go in the same manner. So yes, it is directly proportionate to for our business as well, because the more the traffic grows, obviously it will add more numbers to
Mm.
our business as well.
Right. So currently, if you see in terms of revenue ticket size per passenger, what is it that it was when we started, and where have we reached on that number?
So presently, if you see, we are at actually 800 per pax. That is the cost
Mm.
right now, and year on year there is a 5 to 7% of escalation which has
Mm.
really happened. So that is the growth what we have actually seen in past 9 years.
Right. And overall, from here on, what is going to be the overall growth strategy? I understand, that yes, we are seeing the number of airports coming up, lounges will increase, lot of value-added services that we are adding to our portfolio as well. But apart from that, from a global expansion perspective, from macro opportunities that we could be capitalizing on, what is the next milestone that we would want to cross?
So I think there are two factors which will actually help in
Mm.
the growth of the business. So one is, I would say that in terms of the credit card penetration, because right now if you see, the complete program is more on the credit card and the debit card, right? So when we started this business, if you actually see, it was only 1% which was actually utilizing the benefit, right? Today there are 60 million cardholders who are actually eligible for the lounge benefit. But if you actually see, it's only 8% who are right now utilizing it. So the way actually it has grown from which was less than 1%, where today it is at 8%. So yes, of course, the credit card penetration, the more the credit card, obviously, the usage would also increase. Second growth factor would be also the airport traffic as well, right? And the other thing, as you rightly mentioned, that the infrastructure as well and the number of airports which are growing in India, right? So those will also be one of the factors. And secondly, all the other services what we have added. So as I mentioned to you, that these services have been added during the COVID period, right? So
COVID
right now,
period,
if you
right?
actually see that the majority of our revenue is only from the lounges. However, eventually in coming years, even these services, we will see that, around 10 to 15% would be a contribution
Mm.
from these services. Also, with the global expansion, what we have done, again, because not many countries are opened up right now, it is only marginal, and it is just, from April end where, the international travel has begun. So presently,
Mm.
it is only the Indian cardholders who are actually utilizing it. So the way we see right now is only 1% is from the global business, but that also would eventually grow. And I would say that, that will also contribute good to our business.
Right. And very lastly, COVID has been a dampener for the aviation industry as well. And I'm sure it affected your business as well. So, how did you mitigate the challenge? And from here on as well, any key challenges that you think need to be solved for?
So, Hiral, the thing is that, yes, I think COVID was a bad time and bad for everyone, I would say, and for every industry, right? We all had faced that. But one thing what we had actually done good about in the business was that, the expansion what we have done in 120 plus countries, this was during the COVID period. We had enhanced our technology as well in terms of the platform what we have built. We had actually upgraded our systems as well, and the same system is actually now utilized in 120 plus country. So I think that period which actually was very lean and there was no business, so we actually utilized in enhancing our product and our service portfolio. So in terms of what challenges I would face in future, I would say that, I think the company and the team as such, the way we are actually ensuring is that all the other services, the reason why we are adding it, because it's not just that, the dependency would be on one particular service. Okay. And there are other factors also. I mean, other services, what we have aligned with. And I think the technology platform, which we have also built. Secondly, we have also
Mm.
extended our services into railways as well, right? So I think that is one of the expansion plan what we have done. And God forbid, and again, we don't foresee this COVID thing again happening, wherein everyone gets affected. So we have been positive that it was a one-time thing, and I'm sure that this is not going to happen again.
Right. So absolutely, and I think these are, and it's been a great learning curve as well for a lot of companies. So my last question coming to you, Librata, is, we've spoken about the company, of what the company does, the growth story from here on as well. Lastly, for the benefit of our investors, a few details of the IPO in terms of how much are we looking to raise, what are we going to use the funds for, etc.
So Hiral, it is completely a OFS, and we are diluting. So we are three promoters, myself, Mukesh Yadav, and Dinesh Nagpal. So total of 33% is getting diluted, and 12.5 each has been diluted by Mukesh and Dinesh, and around 8% would be from myself. The price band is between 308 to 326 right now. And as you know, the face value was around 2 rupees. In terms of the issue size, it's around 562 CR. So that is the issue size what we have.
Right. So that's the overall picture in terms of what DreamFolks does and the milestone that they're looking to cross now. Thank you, Librata, so much once again for joining us on the show. Congratulations for the milestone and good luck for the coming quarters and for the listing as well.
Thank you so much, Hiral. Thanks a lot.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.